Now we got Angel Reese, who is defending claims that her rebounding numbers are due to are due to her rebounding her own misses. So obviously, if you're following the WNBA, Angel Reese is a hot button topic,
Mm-hmm.
uh, largely due to attention that she draws to herself, but also because she's having a productive rookie season. I'll use that word. She's
Absolutely.
having a productive rookie season. She puts up a lot of rebounds. What is she? She broke the rookie singles. She broke the rookie record for rebounds in the
Hey,
WNBA all time, which
yeah.
that there's no slouch on that. So
Mhm.
that's an achievement in and of itself. But I guess a lot of people are saying that a lot of her counting numbers and her stats, specifically when it comes to her rebounds, are due to the fact that she's rebounding her own misses.
Mhm.
And I guess she decided to address that during a press conference. I'm not sure if this was before or after a game, but she talked about how, people are going to say stuff, but at the end of the day, she's a productive player and she's not on purpose trying to rebound her own misses. So this says Angel Reese addresses the narrative that she only rebounds her own misses. Angel Reese came into the WNBA as an established college basketball superstar. Overall, she was thrust into a rivalry with none other than Caitlin Clark. Clark struggled during her first few outings in the league, while Angel thrived thanks to her rebounding. Earlier in the season, it was believed that Reese was the frontrunner for Rookie of the Year. However, in recent weeks, Caitlin Clark has completely taken over, while Reese has continued to be a rebounding machine. Unfortunately, Reese has been wrapped up in a destructive narrative. I think that's a strong word about her game. Objectively speaking, her shooting percentages at the rim are atrocious for someone of her size. More often than not, she gets more rebounds than she does points. This has subsequently led to some people claiming that all of her rebounds are from her own misses. While this is not literally the case, it is still a narrative that has people questioning whether or not Reese has a strong enough offensive bag. So here is Miss Reese addressing the idea. Oh, I may have to actually refresh this. So let me refresh it.
Okay. Okay.
But here is Angel Reese addressing the idea that her rebounding numbers could are coming from her rebounding her own misses.
Hmm.
Because it gotta finish loading a little
Yeah, I
bit.
mean, coming into it, I
Okay.
mean, I knew my motor. Offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds is something that I know I can always do. I knew it was going to translate right away, and that's something that a lot of players don't want to do. A lot of people think it's because I get my own rebounds, but statistically, it's not. A lot of people think it's because I'm the tallest on the court when I'm not the tallest on the court. So just being able to go down there and being able to bang, doing things that a lot of people don't want to do. Defense and rebounding wins championships, and I've won championships at every level by just doing that. So coming into the league, before I sharpen up on my offensive thing, just being able to come in and have that on my shoulder is something that I can always do. It's something that I knew would translate.
All right, so there you go. The article goes on to say after a recent loss, Reese was asked about the narrative surrounding her rebounds. Oh, never mind. That's just more of what she was saying.
Mhm.
There you go. So there's Angel Reese
Wow.
defending herself against the notion that her rebounds are due to her rebounding her own misses. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I would say she's got a healthy amount from her own misses. I would agree with that. But I still think it's very impressive what she's done, and you know, the people get on her about her field goal percentage. I think it is the lowest, like within 5 feet of the rim. I think she has the lowest field goal percentage. Um, and so that ties into her grabbing her own boards. I'm pretty sure somebody has a metric out there to show how many of her own rebounds she gets per game. Um, but I mean, hell, man, I still think what the young lady is doing is phenomenal. She wants those rebounds. The majority of the time that I'm seeing these highlights of her, she has more want to it than the other ladies around her to go grab those things. So she does have a motor, and she uses it, and she uses it well. So, I just think that it's just people trying to find holes in what she's got going on because of their dislike for her. Um, I also feel like what we're witnessing right now in the WNBA, much like how we see in the actual NBA, is campaign season for all these, you know, awards at the end of the year. And the narrative that's going out there right now, the article used destructive. Uh, but the narrative that's out there is that, yeah, she just throws it at the backboard and grab it, throw it, grab it, throw it, grab it. Like, there's TikTok videos of little girls that actually play basketball, and they doing their Angel Reese impression where they just keep grabbing the same rebound over and over again, and then finally make it after like 4 rebounds. And it's funny. I get a little chuckle out of it, but I would still say she's up there with the best rebounders of all time, for the WNBA stuff, where she just has a motor that's different than the other women out there. There's I mean, I talk about Asia. She's phenomenal, and she'll go out there and do any damn thing, honestly, when she puts her mind to it. And so, but this is Angel's, like, area. This is her calling card, if you will. So, Dennis Rodman, Ben Wallace kind of thing, and just being effective in that manner. And I think she does it well. So, does she get her own misses? Yes, she does. But I still think that she is helping her team, uh, in ways that they never had before. So, I'm commending this young lady. I don't know who's going to win Rookie of the Year. Most likely, it's going to be Caitlin Clark. But I still think that I personally think this is a situation. That's how I would play it if I was a WNBA. But they might just skew one side or the other to keep the rivalry going throughout their careers. But I think a good thing would be, I think it's appropriate, because I think both of them are doing things that are quite exceptional. Now, the thing is, now people want to harp on about Angel Reese, is about her field goal percentage within 5 feet, and they want to use that to ding her for her accomplishments. But I had to double check to see who leads all time in a season for turnovers. So not only is Caitlin Clark leading all rookies of all time in turnovers, well, she's had more turnovers in WNBA history in one season. And honestly, it's not even close. She's right now she's damn near 30 more than the next person ever. That's a lot of turnovers per game. So if somebody wants to sit here and talk about Angel Reese's field goal percentage within 5 feet, then somebody might want to talk about Caitlin Clark's turnover habits, which are quite outrageous. So I think both of them have these things going for them and against them. And Angel Reese, on top of that, she didn't just break the rookie all-time rebounder record. She broke the all-time WNBA record. So that's anybody, rookie or 10-year vet. So I think both of these women are having exceptional seasons. And I hate all this mudslinging, because honestly, both of them have flaws in their game, but who's perfect? But I think both of them are very well quite deserving of Rookie of the Year. And I think that all of this Angel slander um, is unwarranted, to be honest. I don't know why it's so much of it. Yes, she's a boisterous person. Yes, she's loud, I guess, but loud and being herself. Like, really, I've seen enough of her to see that this is just who she is. And I think that's what she tried to tell us when she was at college. But I've seen enough of her, how she does things, and it's like, no, that's just who she is. And so when I say loud, I don't mean like loud. She's just a personality. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. So shout out to Angel Reese, shout out to Caitlin Clark. But I'm very impressed about Angel's game, because she's not the most physically gifted person out there. She's not the most coordinated person out there, but she definitely has a motor and a desire harder than other women, and it shows in her stats. So what are your thoughts, sir, on Miss Angel Reese? defending herself on getting all those boards. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, a person can say she's rebounding all of her own misses, but then I would say, well, she's rebounding her own misses. Like
Right,
it takes a certain amount of effort to
right.
be able to do that at the clip that she does it. And you want a player like that on your team who provides that kind of an effort most, if not every game.
Hmm.
That's an invaluable person to have on the roster. And that is a force multiplier when it comes to positively impacting a team's championship aspirations.
Correct.
Um, and she averages 5.2 offensive rebounds a game, which is a lot, to be
It is.
honest. That
It
that
is.
that is a lot.
Hmm.
And then she averages 7.9 defensive rebounds a game. So essentially, if you combine offensive and defensive, she averages 13 rebounds a game,
Hmm.
which is impressive.
Hmm.
But when you are dealing with a sport that devalues everything except shooting, you're going to have players who specialize in things like rebounding, thereby being devalued.
Correct.
And that the men's game or the women's game, basketball in general, and we talk about this a lot, is just about ball skills and shooting threes.
Hmm.
And the majority of the credit or spotlight goes to the players who have the best ball skills and can shoot threes. If you can't do any of either of those things at an elite level, preferably both, you're going to be relegated to just being an also ran. And so I think part of that is what's going on with Angel Reese. But also, I think narratives around players are largely due to the juxtaposition between the narrative and their expectations.
Hmm.
So I think the reason why people are hyper fixated on Angel Reese's faults as an individual player is because of the fact that she came out of college being heralded as a superstar.
Hmm.
So if you come out of college and it's like this person can be a superstar, and they get in and you get into the league and you're essentially a high end role player, people are going to start taking knocks. People are going to start kind of you know, taking subtle jabs at you because
Hmm.
you're not a superstar. And then also there's the underlying proximity between her and Caitlin Clark. And so that also is an undeniable component because people who are advocates of and want to see Caitlin Clark become Rookie of the Year are probably going to be the first individuals lining up to talk about how Angel Reese rebounds her own misses.
Correct.
But again, like I said, someone who averages 13 points a game and who even can muster up close to five offensive rebounds a game, that to me is a skill. It's just a skill that people have devalued because the culture around basketball these days is ball skills and threes. And what
Hmm.
Caitlin does way better than Angel Reese is ball skills and shooting threes.
Hmm. Hmm.
So this is what you get as a result. The one thing that I will say though is with respect to Caitlin Clark's turnovers, I hear what you're saying, but there's a bit of a Luca dynamic going on with Caitlin Clark. She has the ball way too much.
She does.
She is the Fever play a heliocentric form of basketball.
That's a good word.
They do. It's very akin. It's very akin to the way the Mavericks play with Luca,
Right.
where every single possession, for nearly every second of the shot clock, Caitlin Clark has the ball.
Let me see. Yeah.
And even if Caitlin Clark gives it up, she's going to run and try to get off a screen to reposition herself to get the ball back. And
Hmm.
essentially, the only time that she's giving the ball up and not getting it back is when she's passing it to somebody on her team who's in position to score,
Hmm.
hence her high assist numbers.
Hmm.
But just because you get a lot of assists, in my opinion, doesn't make you a great playmaker. It just means you have the ball in your hands so damn much that you're going to rack up assists because the only time you're passing it is when someone's in position to score. Thus, you record an assist in the stat sheet for yourself.
Hmm.
So I feel as though Caitlin Clark will become even better as a playmaker and a passer if the Fever as an organization can continue to improve the roster and get other playmakers on the team so that she isn't always having the ball in her hands every single possession and every second of every shot clock
Hmm.
because those types of teams do not win championships. I don't care if it's the men's game or the women's game. No team wins a championship when you have one player eating up the possession of the ball for the majority of the shot clock throughout the course of every game.
Mhm.
Other than that, though, I do think that they're both great. I'm not trying to take nothing away from either one of them. I do think Caitlin is better, and I think that her turnover numbers are a symptom of her having the ball too much. I also will not take anything away from Angel, but I think she is what she is. She's not a superstar. She's not a star. To me, she's a high end role player who
Mhm.
has tremendous skills when it comes to rebounding. And as a plus in the column for her, she's not a liability at the free throw line because usually players who are prolific when it comes to the skill of rebounding tend to be liabilities at the free throw line. So you can just kind of foul them and have them miss at the free throw line. But she makes the majority. Excuse me. She makes the majority of her free throws,
Mhm.
so she's not a liability on that front. But I don't want to take anything away from Angel. She's good. I think expectations need to be put in their proper perspective. And this was not her fault. This was the WNBA and the NBA and the media trying to tout her as something that she is not. And she's not a star. But there's nothing wrong with that. She's a high-end role player, which is great. You want as many high-end role players as possible. And that's where her specialties lie. She's a very skilled rebounder. Give me somebody who gets 13 rebounds a game any day of the week. I'll take them on my roster.
Mhm.
And in some cases, I'll take players like that more than I'll take somebody who has the ball in their hands the whole damn time. I don't like ball dominant basketball players. I really don't. And I think, with the exception of LeBron, LeBron is probably the only hyper ball dominant player that's ever won. And the years where LeBron has won, he had other people so that he can come off the ball.
Mhm.
The years where he lost in the playoffs, which is a lot, were the majority of the years where he was all ball dominant. He had the ball in his hands the whole damn time. But I don't care whether it's LeBron in the years where he lost, Luca, James Harden. I don't care what player you want to name. Ball dominant players don't win. They just don't, man or woman. So I like Caitlin Clark. I just think she needs to come off the ball a little bit. But with the shade being thrown Angel's way because she gets her own rebounds, so what? That's a skill, and it's a coveted skill. More teams need to value it than not.
I agree, man. So, we'll see what happens, bro. I agree that Caitlyn, she's a special talent. And so I don't besmirch what she's doing at all. But I brought up her turnover things because people want to bring up field goal percentage within 5 feet. Now,
Right,
how often do we talk about that?
right,
And
yeah.
so if people want to dig in the weeds about that, well, go look at her turnover numbers and go see how it's clearly more than everybody else. And so, what do y'all want to say about that? And, oh well, bro, it's like, okay, man. So cut these women some slack. They're both young, and and I do think Angel Reese is a star. I do think she has what it takes to be um uh like a real force in the WNBA. I've seen.
I was mainly talking on what she is currently. Like
Oh, that's okay.
she's a high end role player.
Yeah, yeah, but I've seen her developing, and I've seen her take shots. It looked kind of Bill Cartwright. You know what I'm saying? That thing ugly like Cartwright, but she be hitting that thing. So I see her try to stretch her range. I see her try to work on stuff, and I really think that she's taking a lot of this stuff personal. I don't think she's just out there to look pretty. I think she really loves basketball and takes this serious. Not to say that you didn't say that, but I really think she's into this. So I think we're definitely not going to hear the last of her, whether it comes to rebounding or scoring or anything defense or whatever. I think she's a real presence down there. Her and that other girl they drafted, that other tall girl, the one that was from
Car-
South Carolina.
Cardosa.
Yeah. So I
Yes,
like
yeah,
both. I like both of them. Those were phenomenal picks.
yeah.
So we'll see what happens with them, man. But I really think it's a cold season, man. And I think the WNBA needs to do that for good branding. And I think that keeps everybody engaged with this. That keeps the Reese people engaged. It keeps the Caitlyn people engaged. and it also keeps that debate going throughout their whole career. So I think they're both warranted. Um, you know, the Carmelo LeBron year. You know, I thought it was Carmelo, but the league saw LeBron, or it was somebody else. It was LeBron or somebody else. It was something like that where it was like real contentious. But the league has an opportunity here to play it the right way. So we'll see what happens. But most likely, I think it's going to be Caitlyn. I think she's going to win Rookie of the Year. So we'll see.
Yeah. I think so too, but honestly, I think she should. But again, it's easy to say that the counting numbers are all in her favor, but she
Hmm.
has the ball so much. That's my thing. Like sometimes in basketball, the way we talk about, commentate, analyze basketball,
Hmm.
you have to take into account things like that. Yeah, Caitlin Clark is a great productive player, but she also has the ball in her hands so much that how does that factor into the kind of numbers she's putting up? She has the ball all the time. Every possession, she has the ball, the majority of the shot clock. So that's my whole thing. Like, I think she should get it, but I'm also somebody who recognizes ball dominant players when I see it. And right now, she's playing heliocentric basketball. It's all ball dominant. A play does not get made unless she makes it.
Yeah.
And that's not really conducive to winning. It's conducive to putting up numbers, but it ain't conducive to winning. And I don't think she is even the best version of herself as a player
Right.
playing like that. Yeah,
Right.
like the best players are the players who can be just. I keep saying this, but the best players are the best players basketball are those who know how to be effective both on and off the ball. And right now, Caitlin Clark is doing her Jason Tatum thing, where either she has the ball the whole time, or if she doesn't have the ball, she's not active. And
Yeah.
that's my only gripe with her.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
We'll
we'll
see.
but we'll see how it goes, man. Shouts out to both of them, Caitlin and Angel.
You. Yeah.